Okay, hello everybody, it's Narrative Tarot. I'm here for your Metal Ox reading. This is the second one. This probably is going to be like quite short like the other one too. Because I'm not really feeling like there's any big messages that you guys need to know. And I was having actually a struggle trying to pick the deck because I don't assign things by this. But I'm Narrative Tarot. Comment, like, subscribe. Liking and commenting helps recommend this video to more people. Subscribing just keeps you in the loop. I do monthly readings, sit down readings, sit down videos where I just talk about things, book clubs, things like that. So, subscribing just keeps you in the loop about things. So this is for the Metal Ox year. So it's year of the Metal Ox, and I did the other reading. It's also Uranus and Taurus for like Western like astrology, stuff like that. So yeah. Alright, so mental. So we're gonna do kind of the upper world, lower worlds, and what they're telling us each. So each pair may be its own story or not. So let's get into it. We have the Six of Swords and the Seven of Wands reverse. So Metal Ox year, you might just want to cut your losses when it comes to certain things, people, places, rather than fight. This is a lesson I need to learn earlier on. Just in life in general. But walking away, just walking away in general, thinking about things, thinking about the relationships that you have with people, perhaps if it's like a really close thing and you are more likely apt to fight, maybe because there's some sort of emotion there with the person, maybe thinking about what you have with them, the benefit that they bring you, things like that, would help you to diffuse the situation. But walking away could be a really good thing. I think also with walking away though, with that and how people think about walking away, if you think that you're a coward because you're walking away, like, that's not what it is. Page of Cups verse. I feel like if you have been someone who has thought in your life that walking away meant you like you're punk, you're a bitch, you're whatever, like really rewire that thinking, because I feel like when you don't you end up in situations where you really gotta fight. But this isn't what you're supposed to be doing anymore. So some of you guys, you're reaching an age where like you may still see people fighting and it triggers in you something like, why am I, like, I'm too old for this. Like maybe like you are somebody who fights like a lot, like physically fights too, and you might get into one good fight where like you literally like your hip is fucked up and you realize like, yo, like it's time to change. Like, it's time to change. I can't keep doing this shit forever. I'm like 30 fucking 5. Like, I got myself on video, you know, in a dress fighting somebody. They can look, they looking up under my dress, my underwear, my ass is literally out. Like, you literally are showing your ass to the world, and it's like, it's time for a change. So the Metal Ox year is for you to get your words on point. With the Queen of Swords, get your words on point, get your actions together, clean it up. If you got to clean up your social media, if you got to change your username. I was just talking to my friend about this, how people used to have the most, I don't want to say, but ratchet online names. Like, I don't know, I don't want to use names that may be offensive to people, but like it would have their name and then something kind of like ratchet or violent or something like as so big. So example, I'm just gonna say Jen ass so big though. Like if you have pages like that, I'm not gonna be like, I'm not judging you because like the world is judging you. And I think the only people that think that that kind of stuff is acceptable are the people in your world that reward you with the same kind of like, I don't want to say ratchetness, but ratchetness. So it's like time to clean that shit up, clean up your life. I think that's for everybody. That metal ox, clean it up, clean up your life. Like, that's what this is about. Page of Pentacles. Because you're meant to have more than the Page of Pentacles, but you can't even get the Page of Pentacles if, like, you haven't cleaned something up, you know? And it could be very basic things. Like I said, it's for everybody, so, like, everybody can clean something up. Everybody can sit down somewhere and do something, but it's time to clean some things up, is what I'm feeling with that. We got the Hermit and the Hanged Man. Hermit and the Hanged Man. So this is kind of opposites. Opposites attract. You could be actually for love. This might be, you could be actually meeting someone that's actually suited to you. That's the Ten of Cups. So something or someone that's actually suited to you, your desires, your MO. They understand your MO. You got Queen of Pentacles reversed. I would say don't necessarily pour into this immediately. It could just be showing you that opposites don't attract for you, or the ways in which certain opposites like are not gonna fly. Like there's some things that are just not gonna fly. So figure that out within yourself. Figure out things that you really want, things that you really need in a partner. And then go from there. Make your list of the mans there. But you gotta, with this Hermit, you gotta know yourself, and then you gotta be willing to know the ways in which you've departed from yourself. You made choices that were away from yourself and that were not so helpful for you in the long run because you were running away. And you running away from yourself caused a lot of dis-ease in yourself. So no more running from yourself, figuring out what you want, figuring out, what's this, Page of Pentacles? Figure out what it is. It could be something very small and insignificant or not that is holding you from breaking the cycle. And once you break the cycle, you should be good. So at the bottom of the deck, Four of Swords, you do need to think about it, but you also need to exude it and live it and be an example for it, right? So the Hermit seeks things, but he actively seeks things. This person, there's action with the Hangman, like you put yourself in that position and there's a power in that, putting yourself in a position to then see life reflect back to you what you need to know. But the Hermit is, you are searching actively for it, and I think that that's the option that you might want to have. You may have in the past had the Hangman where like life was reflecting back to you, but now you need to go and actively like walk along the path and see what you're finding, because seeing what you're finding is going to help you do away with this, which is the Seven of Swords reversed. Once you actively seek out problems to destroy them, it becomes a lot easier. And I think the passivity, you know, because we have Death in reverse, not letting things die, or because you feel so overwhelmed by it, you think that you have to eliminate things that you don't. And then Ten of Cups, things that you really need, things that are really valuable to you, experiences, stuff like that. So definitely actively work on yourself, actively think about what you need to do, actively think about where you want to go. It's important to you to do that. And then lastly, the Tower reverse. and the Two of Wands. So if you have any sort of breakups, any sort of issues with people, understand that like it's not that bad. I think the people that know you get it. And the situation just may not be as bad as you think. As far as if you, I'm gonna say something like lose your job, it just may be a redirection for you to get something better out of life. Even though it does suck and it destabilizes you. Alternately, you could be very comfortable, very stable, but I feel like you may be very stagnant as a result. Like you may have your Two of Cups. I'm not going to say always questioning, but just make sure that you are emotionally invested in this and that is not something that you got and now you're kind of like, because you have it, you mistreat it or you abuse it or you neglect it thinking that it's always going to be there. And it's the same thing at a job. When people feel like they've been there for 10, 15 years, nobody's going to fire you, no one's going to get rid of you. And then out of nowhere, people make that decision that, like, we don't really need you anymore. You know, it kind of causes a lot of problems. But the real issue was that you were not at the top of your game. You allowed yourself to fall into that trap of you think you know everything or you think you've learned everything you need to learn. And the Wheel of Fortune is here to tell you that there's always something to learn as long as you are alive, right? The world doesn't stop spinning because you are comfortable. Like, there's so many things going on in the world. So your Temperance. See that? Temperance. And then the Ace of Cups reversed. So definitely just make sure, if you're in something that's comfortable, make sure that you aren't stagnant. Make sure that you're not stagnant. I think you can be in a loving, committed relationship, but not be stuck. Eight of Swords. And if you are, it's time to admit to yourself that you actually are, instead of thinking about the comforts of something. It's time to release yourself from the Nine of Swords because it's only gonna harm you in the long run. The Chariot. Move on from things that need to be moved on from. Relationships, jobs, things like that. Don't just go out there and like make a rash decision. I want this one. Make a rash decision, but make one where you, God, you stand in your integrity, and that you feel comfortable with, and that you don't have any real serious regrets. How you feel long term is an indicator of how well you handled it, but yeah. So that's this, and then I'm just gonna do a quick law of attraction. 36 oracle cards to guide you to wealth and prosperity. This doesn't really go with anything in the reading, but I just felt like maybe somebody needs to hear it. Even if it's just me. Non-attachment. I am certain that I will reach my goal while letting go of how it would happen. It's that. And there's that. I'm gonna do 3 total. These were one of my first decks and I used them up for real. But yeah, my fear of rejection does not stop me from bravely going forward. And lastly, I feel like this was quite a punch for the Metal Ox reading. I don't know. I'm proud of myself. Last one. Flow. Riches flow into my life in many ways and from many directions. So that is it, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you have a great and prosperous year of the Metal Ox. Like I said, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.